Okay. So going back, so topic for today is BIM modeling, so beam inertia, and so in terms of contacts and behavior. Okay. So yeah. So for the introduction, so BIM again. So we have been discussing this for quite some time now. Again, so BIM or Building Information Modeling so has emerged a transformative technology in the construction industry, offering numerous benefits such as improved collaboration, efficiency, and quality. So this was been already discussed sa paulit ulit. Okay. So however, despite its potential, the adoption of BIM has not been uniform across the industry. One of the factors hindering widespread beam adoption is the presence of beam inertia and a characterized phenomenon. A phenomenon characterized by resistance to change and reluctance to embrace new technologies. This paper will explore the role of contacts and behavior in perpetuating BIM inertia within the construction industry. So maybe I can attest to it. In terms of uh, the statement here that's saying that there are still resistance to change. Okay, so the reason why other projects resist to change because the one of the reason is that the industry or part of the industry doesn't want a change. Okay, lalo na yung mga matatanda, lalo na yung mga wala masyadong, yung sabihin natin hindi tech savvy na ano ng mga tao. Kasi take note that BIM uh, offers a wide variety of approaches pero kasi take note na may kinalaman na siya sa technology and then yung older generation um are not adapting it kasi for them, why ano to? Why fix things if it's working, 'di ba? So, ang kailangan mo lang palitan yung mga hindi gumagana. But take note, kahit gumagana yung mga old ways, we can improve. Okay? It doesn't mean that if we apply BIM, we will improve the old approaches are not efficient or we can say the old practice are efficient but having beam are more efficient. Yan, pwede natin sabihin ganon. On the other way around, um, one of the reason that not all um, projects across the industry or has not been adopted with the use of beam because there is a factor of whenever we use beam technology. Okay? Nagkakaroon tayo ng additional ah, portion of the budget. In terms of the client side, kapag nagpa-apply sila ng BIM, so it means that portion of it is makikita nila in 3D. So kailangan nilang bayaran 'yun. Kasi if you are the designer or if you are the ones modeling and if you want your model to be shared out sa client, so meron kang extra step na gagawin and then there are extra softwares na needed such as Naviswork para ma-appreciate ng client yung ano, yung gusto niyang mangyaring project. So kailangan niya magbayad. So that's the reason why there are projects na hindi nag-a-apply ng BIM. Let me just share lang din kasi before when I was working at GHD. So yung mga other projects namin, we don't require BIM. The main reason why is that yung old ways, yung manual, magde-design kami, mag-output lang kami ng drawing, are sufficient enough para doon sa requirements ni client. On the other hand, pwede rin naman namin siyang gawing BIM pero magkakaroon siya ng additional cost sa client. Siyempre, bilang ikaw yung gagastos na client, ayaw mo na magkaroon ng gano'n, 'di ba? Or ayaw mong madagdagan yung babayaran mo. Kahit naman sino, 'di ba? Sino bang gusto magbayad ng additional for the project na isa lang din naman yung end goal. Okay? Now, tsaka yung ibang projects kasi are not so complex enough for us to use BIM, so might as well. Huwag na tayong gumamit ng BIM kasi hindi rin naman siya complex or tipong by using yung manual approach, makikita mo na kung merong clashes or makakapag-estimate ka using manual processes. Di ba last time naalala nyo, ang topic natin is about cost. Okay, so kung paano nag-estimate. Now, pero siguro in terms of BIM na na should be integrated yung sa design part, 'di ba? Like for example, nasabi ko sa inyo yung Civil 3D. Yung Civil 3D kasi is a software used for horizontal projects. Civil 3D is the software used for the design of roads. Hindi bridges kasi ang bridges is considered as superstructure. So that is made using structural design. Pero in terms of the civil 3D, kaya ako natanong yung surveying kasi surveying, highway transport, surveying, highway engineering, tsaka transportation engineering, yan yung tatlong subject na nagbe-benefit sa civil 3D. Okay, so yung paggawa ng mga kalsada. Okay, now, so with the design of that, so pwede tayong gumamit ng mga software na somewhat relevant sa BIM. Pero in terms of collaboration, using those software, so hindi na natin siya nagagawa. Siguro hanggang doon lang tayo in terms of the efficiency and yung quality lalo sa mga estimates tsaka sa design. Pero yung collaboration, meaning yung pagbabanggain mo yung mga models nyo. So hindi na yan ginagawa most of the time. So yun yung gusto kong sabihin. Okay, na kapag ka hindi complex, hanggang modeling, hanggang design lang talaga yung use of the software. Wala nang iba. Now, I also have this project sa GHD before that we use BIM kasi napaka complex ng project. It is a golf course. I think, kung nagkakamali, hinati namin yung area into 5. So, may dalawang bundok somewhere in Luzon. So, di ko na sabihin kasi meron siyang meron siyang ah ano to ah yung clause na bawal namin i-disclose. Okay, yun. So we will develop a mountain area kung saan maglalagay ng golf course, maglalagay ng hotel, tapos maglalagay ng mga villas. Okay. So with that, since medyo complex, so kailangan mong ayusin yung kalsada, may mga utilities sa ilalim ng kalsada, nandiyan yung mga drainage, nandiyan yung mga electrical lines na nasa ilalim ng kalsada. Tapos once na matapos na okay na yon, saka itatayo yung mga structure, ilalagay yun sa mga parte ng bundok na kinat namin, ganyan. So, with that, there is a very need of BIM kasi para madaling makapture yung mga bagay na possible na clash or possible that doesn't make any sense. So, ayun. And then with all of that, that's one of the factors that leads to change in contract. Kasi again, as I've said before, kapag gumagamit ka ng BIM, nagkakaroon to ng additional premium or additional cost for the client. And then, in terms of the additional cost of the client, pinag-uusapan, anong klaseng BIM or the level of development ang gagamitin natin. Okay, so yun yung i-discuss natin later dito sa slide. Okay? Okay, at the end of the day, the objective is we familiarize contracts and behaviors in BIM and then know the basic procedures involving contracts in civil engineering industry with BIM application. Class, take note pag sabi mong BIM kasi ang common common understanding is that pag sabi mong BIM, mga ducting, MEPF, structural, Revit, hindi lang doon. Kasi maaaring yun lang yung sikat na ginagamitan ng BIM, yung nasa loob ng mga buildings, ganyan. Pero take note, ginagawan din ng BIM yung nasa labas. As long as it is part of a project, it can be considered or we can consider BIM with that one. Okay, kaya ang term dito talaga civil engineering, hindi lang structural or mechanical, etc. So civil engineering siya in terms of our industry. Okay. Okay. So sabi dito, yung mga other studies, so sabi dito, BIM implies an increased collaborative effort in early stages of the construction project. So sabi to ni Jongeling noong 2008, tsaka ni Eastman et al. Noong 2011. But in what ways is the prerequisite manifesting itself in contractual provisions and procurement? In the US, Ashcraft, okay, noong 2008, has highlighted the need to recraft existing contractual relationship to facilitate collaborative decision making and to equitably allocate responsibility among all construction participants. So ito na nga. So they adjusted the contract para ma-allocate yung mga task in terms of the collaborative decision making. Kasi again, the sole purpose of BIM is for collaboration. So yun. And then consequently, yung AIA or the American Institute of Architects has developed through its partners a series of new contractual agreements compatible with an integrated project delivery or IPD philosophy. Reports are emerging on the successful and advantageous application of IPD to support BIM, whilst elsewhere the industry is toiling with half-hearted collaborative process thwarted by contractual inertia imposed through traditional procurement routes. So yun na nga. So hindi nila gusto, half-hearted sila dun sa collaboration process. Pero, but then again, things are evolving. Pero those were the early days. I think BIM na pag-uusapan na to nung college pa lang ako. Tama, ang mga somewhere this time, 2008, 2010, kasi I have this class before. I think ang pangalan ng subject namin doon is CE application. So, the software that are in demand during that time sa atin is STAAD. So, yung mag-design ka using STAAD. And at the same time, Microsoft Excel. Kasi we format things manually sa Microsoft. Doon kami gumagawa ng parang design spreadsheet. Now, napag-uusapan na rin that time yung BIM process. Pero hindi pa siya ganoon masyadong na-apply. Although ina-apply na siya earlier stages, pero yung recent development of that one comes after netong mga recent years lang. Tsaka mas na-appreciate siya. Tsaka mas madadami ng mga software na nagiging available for this one. Okay? Ayan. So for the method of investigation, a qualitative approach has adopted from a critical realism perspective where acknowledgement is made to contextual factors, whilst also arguing the phenomena under the study can occur in similar settings. Okay, sabi siya ni Sanders et al. Adoption of this approach support the investigation insofar that it allows the study of complex and contemporary phenomena over which the investigator had little or no control. Okay, yung binabanggit ditong complex and contemporary phenomena, it's is discussed in terms of the project, and then the investigator is the one who is checking the model. Okay. Data gathered has been deductively analyzed to expose and interrogate the key components that influence the particular phenomena under study and enable a clear understanding of both contractual and behavioral challenges in BIM. In BIM collaboration in context and provide insight into emerging issues that can be deemed as relevant generally. So yun, in terms of inertia, so ito yung mga na-encounter before. Actually, until now, na parang setbacks and challenges. So, yun, that are being taken care of. And then later on naman, I think because of the change in the, sabihin na nating, generation, okay? So napapalitan na ng mga younger generation, yung older generation, to be particular in the generation before us, I think Gen X ba tawag sa kanila, and then yung generation namin mga millennials. So we are the one now navigating through this. So, yun, kaya yung the application of BIM is now widely used and then also accepted. And then, sabi pa dito, the main findings of BIM inertia, contracts, and behaviors builds upon critical analysis of the key documents outlined below and applies focus group interviews and so on. I think this is based on the study. So let's move na. Ayan. Okay. A review of key documents. So yun, as part of the empirical data collection, so based from the previous projects, okay, na ginamit nila dito sa study na to. In connection with this study, a number of key contextual documents were collected and reviewed, including existing local contract documents and BIM supporting documents, such as IAI document and then the integrated project delivery, okay, and the Building Smart Alliance. So they reviewed those documents and then eto na. So they understand now the contractual and behavioral obstacle in BIM collaboration. Okay, yan. This section presents the main results of the study and is divided into findings from the document reviewed and those from the industry participant interviews. These are pulled together and with a summarizing section reflecting on the procedural circumstances and behavioral fallout from contractual inertia. I think it's more on behavioral, if I would say. Kasi, tingnan nyo to. Ito yung mga BIM documents na kinuha. Yung BIM delivery schedule, so meron siyang sariling schedule kasi yung BIM na hindi siya kailangan, na hindi siya part of the plan. Or hindi siya part ng mga hard copies na pinaprovide. And then part of that, we need to incorporate the BIM authorized use schedule. Okay? And then, yun. Next is the level of detail. Ito yung pag-usapan natin or level of development. Schedule at each stages. Okay, so, and then the object author matrix. Take note, yung mga nakakulay pula, yan yung peripheral guides and standard protocol. So, ito yung ini-input natin at inilalabas natin within the system of BIM. Okay, so, yan yung mga parang baseline natin. Through each baseline, so, meron tayong, ano pala siya? Possible support components. Itong, ayan. So, yan yung ano natin. Ito yung, tawag dito, yung mga pula na yan yung ginagawa pala natin, yan yung ginagawa natin. Pero hindi siya, kumbaga, pwede natin sabihin, on top of it, it's an additional task. Kasi, yung in terms of the BIM plans, okay, so we use the BIM info exchanges, so we exchange information with other discipline na hindi naman siya magre-reflect doon sa plan natin. Well, magbe-benefit, pero hindi kasi yun yung nagiging part ng pinaka-actual task natin. For example, in terms of the modeling, magmo-model ka sa Revit or sa ArchiCAD or sa Civil 3D. Okay, so yan yung mga standard, yun pala, that's under the standard protocols. And then you are using methodologies and standards such as ASTM, NSCP, etc. And then, yun. And then in terms of collaboration protocol, ayan. Now, yun. So what I'm trying to say here is that the documents that are, or yung mga gray part, so yan yung mga, yan yung mga sabihin natin peripheral or necessary talaga doon sa isang project. And then on the other hand naman, etong isa, mga support components lang siya. Or meaning, sila yung nagpapa-improve ng process. Okay. On the other hand, ito yung potential facilitating documents, ito, yung contracts. So ito yung nagiging basis ng lahat. Kung ano yung mga gagamitin mong or kung ano yung mga requirement, so makikita mo sa contract, nandun yan sa scope, tapos kung may kailangan kang mga possible support in terms of BIM. As I've said, hindi naman kasi lahat ng projects na kailangan ng BIM. To furthermore understand this, so we will discuss the level of development in terms of the addition sa contract. Okay? I think level of development na to. Okay, so before I proceed again, siguro simplihan lang natin. Kapag meron kang isang project, kunwari magpapagawa ng bahay, so kailangan ba nating mag-BIM or hindi? Pwedeng oo, pwedeng hindi. Pero most of the time, kung mga ganong simple task. So we don't do that kasi it would be part of the contract. So kapag part siya ng contract, additional payment as I've said kanina. Now, if the project is too complex, so that's the time that we can propose to use BIM. Pero pwede rin hindi kasi marami naman ng mga complex project na hindi naman kinamitan ng BIM. Okay? So yun. So in terms of the additional in contract, so let's look on the level of development. Kasi hindi naman outright pag sinabi natin gagamit kami ng BIM. Ito na yun. Hindi ganon. Pag sinabi mong gagamit kayo ng BIM, so anong level of development? Kasi take note that each level of development would implicate certain payment. Of course, kapag mas detailed, mas mahal. Kapag hindi masyadong detailed, so mas mura siya compared dun sa mas detailed. And take note, hindi tayo pwede basta-basta, hindi, ito yung gamitin natin. Mas maganda to. Hindi ganon. Each level of development correspond on different stages in the construction. Katulad ng sabi dito, level of development refer to a standardized framework for defining the amount of detail. Okay? Kung yung gaano ba siya ka-accurate and accuracy. Yan. That should be included in the BIM at different stages of the project. So take note, different stages of the project. So may sinusunod tayong stages in terms of the level of development. Hindi pwedeng kunwari gusto mo nakikita na yung mga bakal pero nasa conceptual stage ka pa lang. So hindi pwede yun kasi at conceptual, it's just a parang big ball figure computations pa lang yung ginagawa mo noon in terms of your design. So kung mag-elevate ka sa mga succeeding stages, so masasayang lang. So yun yung purpose noon na baka kasi masayang lang yung effort na i-google mo kung sobrang accurate tong gagawin mo kasi later on pwede pa siya magbago. Okay? So yan. So there are 6 levels of development. Okay. The American Institute of Architects or AIA and the Associated General Contractors of America AGC. So they establish a commonly used LOD framework. So sila yung nag-establish nung ginagamit nating framework or yung ginagamit nating LOD or levels of development. Okay. So at bago ko i-discuss isa-isa, ayan. So ito yung mga stages. So sometimes nag-iiba-iba siya kung anong tawag nila. Ito katulad nito, yung image dito, so may pre-design, schematic, and so on. Minsan naiiba lang yung wordings pero the essence itself would depend on its description. And ito katulad nito sa yung sa image walang nakalagay ditong tawag dito yung level LODT 50. Pero anyway, so let's discuss one over the other. So yung LOD 100, focus lang tayo dito. Ignore nyo lang itong mga wordings dyan. It can change kasi pero let's refer to the description per LOD. Under conceptual design. Pag nasa conceptual design ka, you use LOD 100. At this stage, the models represent basic shape and size, okay, of elements without detailed information. It is used to convey the overall design intent. Okay, so katulad dito, mga block lang. Ganon din dito. Rough size, yun yung sinasabi sa inyo kanina, para high level dapat lang yung mga sizes. Then later, we can refine that kapag nag-proceed tayo sa mga succeeding stage. So sa conceptual, ang mga ginagawa lang natin dyan, we concept the stage na kailangan may ganito dito, kailangan may ganito dyan, more on ganun pa lang. Minsan you do quick in terms of sa design perspective, you do quick calculation para makakuha ka ng mga geometry dimensions. Pero ano lang, very quick calculations lang, hindi siya detailed calculations. Pero later dapat syempre if you're going to do quick calculation or rough sizes, so dapat logical. Okay? Baka mamaya sobrang laki naman or sobrang liit. So hindi na siya logical. Dapat logical pa din. Pero in a high level manner. Then next we have the LOD 200. Ito naman under schematic design. So dito nagdi-design na tayo. We do the model and it becomes more refined, incorporating approximate quantities, okay, sizes, shape, and location of elements. It helps in analyzing spatial relationship and early design concepts. So dito, so nadadagdagan na yung improvement nito. Kung dati, yan, black lang yung makikita mo, ngayon may nakikita ka ng ilang layers ng floors dapat yan. In terms of this one, dito nakikita mo na yung mga preliminary elements. Okay? Like, kunwari, dati column lang, tsaka footing or pedestal. I think this is a pedestal. Pedestal, ngayon, ilalagay mo na na bakal pala yung column. Tapos ito concrete yung pedestal natin. And then next is LOD 300 detail design. So dito ano na siya, design development, so nagka-calculate ka na talaga dito ng accurate. Normally LOD 300 ang ginagamit kapag at the perspective of the client na. Tapos kung gusto mo na ng better collaboration, kasi dito the model includes geometric information, specific sizes, shapes, and detailed object components. Ito na nga yung sinasabi ko sa inyo for collaboration. It's used for producing construction documents and coordinating different disciplines. Construction documents meaning in terms of this phase, yung design mo, pwede mo nang i-print yun hanggang sa ma-finalize mo into issued for construction, or meaning yun na yung plano na i-construct sa site. Okay, and coordinating different discipline in terms of collaboration. Yun nga, yung nasabi ko before na from Revit model, lahat ng mga model na ginawa sa Revit, ipapasok sa Navisworks to check the clashes and so on. Yun. Then LOD 350. Ito, construction documentation. Ito wala dito sa isa, pero nandito. Okay, so anong ano niya? So the model includes detailed assemblies and fabrication or construction level information. It is used for generating construction documents and shop drawings. So in much detailed aspect. So again, kung paano siya ipapabricate or kung paano siya i-construct. Normally, sa construction na nakita ko, hindi masyadong gumagamit ng BIM. Kung gusto nila ng shop drawing, mano-manong babanatan yan ng mga nasa site. So sila yung gagawa ng drawing itself. And then for RFI or request for information or ipapa-approve nila dun sa designer, kasi designer i-check, i-alter ng konti, then approve. So more on ganun to in terms of the LOD 50. Okay, so ito yung during the construction, during the processing of the methodology, yun na nga yung assemblies and fabrication. The next is LOD 400. So this is the time na nasa construction stage na or the fabrication assembly. So LOD 400, this level involves the creation of detailed models with specific assemblies and connections suitable for fabrication. So eto, detailed na yung model. So makikita na natin kung ano yung ginawang methodology dito for fabrication. So it will be applied na here sa model. As you can see dito, makikita nyo kung paano na nakalagay yung anchor ng ating uh, steel plate. Ganito kasi yan. I-zoom in ko nga. Medyo malabo. Ayan. So ito siya. Meron tayong anchor. May makikita na kayong bolts. And so on. Tapos may makikita tapos tapos nakalatag na yung rebar, etc. Okay, so that's an example of that one. So dito makikita niyo na in terms of this, you would be able well, it only symbolizes yung in terms of the construction stage, the cost, the timing, and then yung skeletal niya kasi nga it's under construction stage. Okay? Then lastly, for LOD 500, so nandiyan na yung as-built. Wait lang. Wait lang, class. Less, dinig ba ako? Thumbs up naman kung dinig ako. Di pala nakakabit headset ko kanina. Can you hear me? Hello? Yeah, okay, thank you. Yan, sige, let's proceed, let's continue this one. Okay. So for the LOD 500, ito naman yung as-built or facility management. So ibig sabihin tapos na. Tapos na yung construction. So nandun na tayo sa as-built or kung ano yung natapos sa site, yun na yung makikita mo sa model. Take note class that that um the plans or the design na ginawa sa paper, not all the times yan yung makikita mo on site. So there are changes because of the because of the uncertainties on site. For example, may kailangan palitan kasi hindi pala mag-work yung nasa original plan. Ngayon, kapag may pinalitan ka, dapat updated yung nandun sa as-built plan tsaka yung nandoon sa BIM model. Take note that design drawings is very much different with the as-built. Okay? Kaya kapag gusto mong makita yung plano ng isang structure, ang hahanapin mo as-built plan. Huwag ka maghahanap ng basta plano lang. You should be able to check, is this as-built or not? Basta pag nakatayo, kailangan mo diyan as-built plan. Kapag itatayo, ang kailangan mo diyan construction plan. So magkaiba 'yon. Okay? Now, again, going back with the LOD 500 rather. So, 'yun. The model at this stage includes information about the installed and operational elements of the building reflecting real-world conditions. Yun na nga, for maintenance and facility management. So the purpose of this one ng 500 is para sa facilities management nung building. Kasi di ba may mga maintenance, ganyan, or ang bigger term sa kanila is facilities management. Okay, so para kung may mga repairs silang kailangan gawin or para makita nila ano bang meron diyan sa ano na yan, sa structure na yan. So yun. Okay? And then uses of levels of development. So tuwing kailan natin siya ginagamit. Again, aside from what I've discussed, so level of developments are integral to the construction industry because they allow model authors to clearly define the reliability of their models and help downstream users understand the limitation of the models they receive. By standardizing the degree of reliability and accuracy required at each project stages, LOD minimizes understanding among stakeholders, optimizes resource usage, and aids proactive decisions. So yun, ang pinaka-importante dito is hindi kayo nag-over-assume doon sa model ng one another nyo. Okay, tsaka take note, eto na experience ko to, yung kinikwento ko sa inyo kanina na BIM project namin na golf course. Parang I think in 9 months, lagi ako nag-upload ng model. Ngayon, hindi pala nila iniintindi yung model sa labas ng structure or meaning hindi nila iniintindi na anong itsura ng building sa labas. So ngayon, ang pinag-uusapan lang nila yung mga model nila and so on and so on. Ngayon, nung later, sabi ko, ba't parang hindi pa rin nagbabago? So, na-raise ko yung issue. Sabi ko, bakit nakalutang yung mga building nyo? Hindi ba dapat nakalapag yan sa model ko? Ngayon, sabi nila, ay, hindi namin alam. Sabi ko, kaya nga tayo may beam. Kailangan yung tingnan. Hindi lang yung structure nyo sa labas. Yung structure sa loob. Pati yung itsura ng structure nyo sa labas. So, ngayon, ang nangyari is that nagkaroon ng changes, nagkaroon kami ng settlement. Sige, dahil medyo marami na silang nagawa, kailangan nilang erase, kailangan kong i-adjust yung mga design ko in terms of the civil works or doon sa kalsada. Kasi dati man ginagawa ko yung kalsada and then ang napansin ko nakalutang yung buong structure. So lahat ng gumagawa doon ay structural, architectural, mechanical, lahat sila nakalutang yung building. Yung sa akin nakalubog. Dahil nga nasa labas ako hindi nila iniintindi. So yun. So what happened is that
kailangan na ngayong kailangan na ngayong i-adjust. So, in terms of the settlement, I raise, I guess, kung di ako nagkakamali, I raise the levels nung kalsada, and at the same time, yung mga structure nagbaba sila on some locations. So now what I want here is that what I'm trying to imply here is that in case you've encountered the BIM, although not part of this these cases dito sa slide, please make sure that you don't over assume. Then kasi nga nabasa ko dito yun nga yung minimize misunderstanding. Yes, you have LOD pero kasi it's a better collaboration that you don't assume na tiningnan nila. So dapat kausapin nyo rin na, oy, yung level nyo dito is ang baba or yung ano nyo dito is mataas. Chinek nyo ba to? Kasi don't assume na chinek nila. Kasi sinabi ko yun na bakit hindi nyo chinek kaya nga tayo gumagamit ng BIM to collaborate. Ba't parang hindi nyo chinek yung ginagawa ko? Yun lang naman yun. Pero yun again, don't assume. Be proactive whenever you encounter that and then you raise it right there and then para makita. Kasi take note, meron pa ring mga professionals na they only look on their task. So yun yung mga tamad na ang tinitingnan lang nila is yung models nila pero hindi nila tinitingnan yung trabaho ng iba with respect sa trabaho nila. Ayun. Okay. Then, do all AEC or architectural engineering construction projects, yung AEC, use LOD? Okay. While LOD comprises a valuable framework widely in AEC industry, its adoption varies, and sinasabi natin, on project-specific factors. So, ulit ko sinasabi kasi it's only for the complex projects with intricate designs. Those adhering to specific regulations and project with experienced teams are more likely to implement LOD comprehensively. Kasi, take note, actually, nung nag-start din ako sa BIM, malay ko ba sa BIM na yan, magaling ako mag-model, mag-design ng software, pero hindi ko talaga alam yung BIM. Hanggang sa natutunan ko lang. Hindi kasi lahat na-expose sa mga contracts na may BIM component. Okay, kaya yun, doon lang, if you're one of the experienced enough, so you would likely to implement BIM in terms of its LOD requirements. Pero yun, mga complex projects lang din yung ginagabitan. Widely used, pero not all projects, and it is a project specific. Okay? Then, how is BIM involved in levels of development? So, paano siya na-involve? Again, BIM and LOD are close intertwined in AEC. BIM forms the digital backbone for LOD implementation. Okay? Again, yung BIM na ginagamit yung mga software, so yan yung source of the LOD implementation. It enables creation, management, and sharing of detailed digital representations of building elements. LOD establish a framework that specifies the depth of detail and accuracy to include BIM models at various project stages. Okay, so I think I already overemphasized this one. Then lastly, last slide na to, how are levels of development tracked in projects? So LODR tracks in projects through LOD matrix. So we have this matrix. An essential component of BIM execution plan. BIM execution plan, so yan yung parang guidelines nyo kung paano nyo i-apply yung BIM. Ano yung mga stages, ano yung mga things to do, and so on. In LOD matrix, project teams define and outline LOD requirements for specific building elements and systems at various project stages. The responsibility for creating and maintaining BIM model at each LOD are assigned to relevant stakeholders. Okay? So, normally, yung mga nagmo-model, pag nag-produce sila ng model for BIM collaboration, it is being managed by a BIM manager. Kuha lang ako ng paint. Para lang makita nyo yung ano. Okay, so sabihin natin meron tayong teams. Kunwari, ito yung structural. Gawa lang tayong tatlo. Ito yung R-key. Tapos sabihin natin, ito yung MEPF. Okay. So, nandito yung mga modeler, yung mga designer, mga drafter. Okay, ganoon din dito. Meron silang modeler, meron silang designer, meron silang drafter. Okay, modeler, designer, then drafter. Okay. Now, kapag nakapag-process na sila ng model, meron silang taong pagbibigyan yan. This is the BIM coordinator. Okay. So, ganun din dito. Meron din siya sariling BIM coordinator. Okay, sabihin natin BC. And then this one, another BIM coordinator. So, kanya-kanyang ano yan? Kanya-kanyang discipline. Doon sa experience ko, well, that's for the civil team. I am one of the designer and I am also the BIM coordinator. And then, kapag may meeting na may kinalaman sa design, pag-uusapan lang namin. Tapos, meron dito, kapag pag-usapan na yung BIM, we have the BIM manager. Ayan, BIM manager. So, siya yung nag-check ng mga clashes and so on. So, diyan kami nagre-report to send yung mga models na ginawa ng team namin. Tapos pag-uusapan namin. Kung may mga clashes or anything changes, i-relay namin sa team namin. Parang ganon. Vice versa. Tapos, on the other hand, siya na yung mag-relay doon sa client side. Okay? So, siya na mag-relate sa client side yan. And so on. So, and then back and forth na yan. Okay? So, yun. So, yun. Kaya yung responsibility of maintaining and creating the BIM models are allocated depending sa stakeholders or doon sa individuals that's managing those tasks. Okay. Then lastly, the LOD matrix serves as a reference guiding the creation of BIM models to meet the designated LOD requirements and continuously monitored for compliance. Okay. With that, so that's the end. I think in the end. Meron pa pala. Ay, hindi. I think nasabi ko na to. Ay, na-double pala yun. Anyway, so I think with that, that's the end of the slide. So later I will post na lang itong, delete ko to. Post itong presentation doon sa ating Facebook chat. And then the recording will be uploaded afterwards sa YouTube. Any question? Wala na? Wala. Sige. Let me just stop the recording. Sige, if you don't